Hey guys, I'm MJ, and I'm your Atlas to life. Today, I'm doing a twin flame tarot card reading. And I've separated the major arcana, 11 for one flame, 11 for the other. And this is my Luminant Spirit deck. It's my favorite, bright, shiny deck. I'm very connected with this deck, so it should be a pretty good read for you. Like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything else that I have going on. On Sundays, I do yoga and nature, rain or shine, warm or cold. On Mondays, I do a meditation, and let me tell you, it's out of your body. Tuesdays is tarot, and that message is for the collective. Wednesdays, I do a meditation that's just a shorter version of a chakra balancing and cleansing. And then I do a yoga flow dance, which only takes a couple minutes, so it won't take up too much of your time. You should join me. On Thursdays, it's tarot again. And the tarot reading that I do on Thursdays is a channeled message from your person. Fridays, I do an informational video for collective chosen members. And then Saturday, today, is the twin flame stuff. Okay? Let us begin. And as I lay down some of these cards, I will tell you that my email address is em3dj3@gmail.com. So if you're interested in a personalized reading, send me an email and we can set something up. I've decided to do 3 at a time today. Okay, look at these. For one of the flames, we have the Empress, which is number 3, followed by Strength, which is the number 8. And that one has the V for 5 and then 3 as well. So I'm seeing 2 3s there. And Justice is what comes next. For the other flame, we have card number 0, which is the Fool. We have the Star. And then we have Temperance. Okay. This is an intuitive tarot card reading. I'm out here in nature connected with Source because I feel like this is where I get my messages best and my guidance. And I want to let you guys know what you need to know this week. Okay. For one of the flames, I see an individual who is very connected with Source. This person is very comfortable in any environment that she is faced with, and people are very much happier just because of her presence. She can work in any situation and with any set of people, any type of people, any group, so she could be good at any job that she had. She's very well-rounded and multifaceted. Fertility, fertility, fertility. And the feel I get here is manifestation, manifestation, manifestation. She knows what she wants and she knows how to read the other people around her. And so she can help everybody she's a peacekeeper in a sense. And everyone's happier just because she's around. Because she can meet everyone's needs and not just her own. She'll put other people's needs before her own. Then over here we have this Fool. I get a completely different vibe over here. So that flame, the other flame, is at a point in their life where they're basically just winging it. And this person's open to anything. They're very adventurous. They don't care so much about other people's needs. I think they may have just come out of a situation being the 0 and they're starting a new cycle where they were taking care of some other people. And now they're saying they're going to take care of themselves instead. Okay, so let's move back over here. And on this side, we have Strength. And in this situation, I'm connecting this card with the first card because I saw the threes, one on top of the other here. I don't know if you can see them in the camera. So she's using this strength to hold down a fort of some sort. She's very strong because of things that have happened to her in her life. She's very directed and guided towards her goals, and she's not going to let anything get in her way. But then over here, we had, you know, the Fool with the Star card to follow. We'll connect to those as well. So this person is just looking to the sky to save them. And I know that's quoting lyrics from a song back from in the 90s, but they have a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and they're putting all that behind them and waiting for the universe to come in and show them where they need to go. Over here we have Justice. So that first flame is working for the collective. They're bringing justice onto the planet. They care about the environment and the world around them. They also have done the work within themselves, and they want to pass that around and help other people fix things inside of them or just in their world and in their life to make the world a better place. So they are working. They're doing their life purpose here. Now on the other side, for this flame, we have Temperance, which is number 14. And this person, what they really need to be doing is working on creating some type of balance. Because they're basically just winging it and asking for guidance, and they think that their problem's going to be fixed for them. But when I see this light at the top here, up here, I feel like that person needs to find out how to balance the dualities within themselves and avoid extremes. They're just willing to be patient for a little while, and they're not ready for any long-term commitments. Now, how's this going to progress? Because we are changing beings, and each and every day, things happen in our life that alter and work together to send us in different directions. Okay, so over here on the Empress side, we get the Lovers card. Love's always going to be the most important thing to this person. So they have balanced the dualities within them, and union is a word that comes up with this card a lot. So I feel like they have, you know, become one with their surroundings and everything in their life. They've come to terms with where they are, with who they are, with what's going on, and they're pretty happy in their existence, and they do have spiritual guidance. But over here on the Fool side, we have the Tower card that comes up. And I feel like that person, because of the way that they're living their life, is about to have some very sudden upheavals, and there's some disaster on the way for them. But let me tell you, the feel I get is that that stuff is very necessary for them. And it's why, you know, they were asking for guidance from the stars, you know. So it's why they're living the way that they're living right now, because they're not going to do this on their own. It's going to be happening, you know, without their input or control. And then the Empress gets the Wheel of Fortune. And the Fool gets Judgment. So the Fool was not wrong in just letting things happen the way that they were happening, because this is Judgment Day. And it's pulling everybody to these Tower moments, and it's just going to bring in, you know, that rejuvenation, the reckoning. The horn is being blown for all. And maybe they were a little bit, had some foresight to these things that were about to occur. So they weren't going to spend a lot of time directing their existence, because the universe and the guidance was taking them through this judgment, where I feel like the Empress twin, this side over here, has already gone through all of that because they're already working. I have to stop and say that I think this person on the Empress side, she's tooting some horns. She's the one blowing that horn, because twin flames have a lot of telepathic communication. And if they're not getting through to their other twin, they use their sources. They use their angels, they use their guides to push that person. So she's leading the way. I'm saying she because she's a she and he's a he. But that might not be the case. That might, I mean, I'm not being gender specific per se. But the Wheel of Fortune that she's keeps on turning for the other flame is because she's pushing them into that new cycle that was the beginning, describing that person, that portion, that half of the twin flame connection. She was bringing upon that change. And I think that for her or him, whomever this is describing in your relationship, that she's okay with the fluctuations that occur in their own life, and maybe the other twin doesn't realize how much of an impact it is and how draining it is on her or him to keep on pushing the other one through this stuff, because as they work through it, the other flame has to do the same. Okay, next we get, and we're starting new here, because this is later on. We're going to be looking into a little bit more of the present future here. So we get the Devil for the Empress side, we get the Chariot, and we get Death. She has all three, or this person on this side has all three. We'll call this flame one, has all three change cards. And on the other side, flame 2 is now the High Priestess. The Hanged Man. And the Moon. We'll go ahead and lay the other two down. So flame 1 has the Emperor, the Magician. Flame 1 has Hermit. And just to clarify, because I think I said that wrong. To my left, this will be flame 1. To my right is flame 2. In the camera, it's always backwards. And somehow I sort of like work with that. Okay. I'm seeing a discrepancy here, so this is going to be super fun to work with. And we will. Okay, over here, which we just determined for sure is flame 2. The Devil comes in and brings these temptations to somebody, and it's coming from the other side, who has already worked through this stuff, who's already made the appropriate changes. Monetary things are not important to this person anymore, because we've established whom this person is already. And so when the flame 1 starts to be tempted by these things that they will not work for, flame 2, as the Devil's doing here, diverts it for their other flame. It's not going to affect this higher being, this person who is beyond that type of existence. They are not living in that 3D realm. They don't care about that kind of stuff. It's not the type of thing that makes them happy anyways. So over here then the Emperor came, and that shows me, because the original person was being described by the Empress card, that this person, this flame 2, she possesses the feminine and masculine qualities for both of you. Okay? So she is the mother, and she's a little bit more, in general, a happy creature who's just free existence, a hippie per se, if you must. But then she's also abiding by the structure and control that's necessary for the dualities that exist within this relationship. She, and I keep calling it flame 2 a she because of that being the Empress. But we got the Emperor too. So flame 2 took the call. She got the direction, the guidance, the control, and she's able to exert a type of subconscious or intuitive output in a way where she's I feel like she's directing the show. And she is, because he or she gets the Magician card here. And that is a person who does control her energies and the energies of those around her. She chooses wisely, or he or she chooses wisely with what desires should be met and what should not. They're manifesting what is appropriate and what is good for all, for humanity even. And it is their duty on this planet, because here's another card drawing me to that 3 from those first 2 cards. This is 13, but I'm seeing the 3, to take care of her babies. And she sees all, she knows all, and she will bring an end to the suffering and the pain around her under all circumstances. She or he. There's just a lot of feminine energy on this side. And even to get the Emperor also, I feel like that's not a problem in any way, because it's also important for the mother to be very strong. Or that feminine side of the union. Sometimes they have to think of a mother or a mom who's raising children on her own. She also has to be the daddy at times too. Okay, so I'm looking at the crown a lot here. And so she sees the people in her life and the people that are important to her as her kingdom. Okay, over here to what we determined to be flame 1 is the High Priestess card. And that to me looks like the number 11, that 2 there. So they're intuitively being given messages. They've got a lot of work to do. I'm sorry to say it. When I saw the Devil card on the other side, I thought this person's not being tempted by the devil. But I do think that this person's got a snake around their neck, and they're trying to, here we have the moon again, ignore certain aspects that need to be changed. Their inner voice may need to change altogether. And maybe they're having some self-esteem issues, or something along those lines. I also felt a big, strong presence of anger over here. You see which card that was, that Temperance card. When I saw this one, it made me feel like they have a lot of anger inside of them, or pain. And they're not really willing to let go of some things from the past because it reminds them of the painful feelings, which makes them not really have to let go, because they're not quite willing to yet. And so for this card to be followed up with the Hanged Man, they need to change their inner voice. And I see the 2 on that one too. So we're going to link those 2 cards together as well. And here, they're suffering in a way that's helping them release some things. And they're slowly letting go of some ties from their past. And each time they do, they go off on their own into the night. And they're ascending. They're pulling that light out from within them, and it's just growing bigger and bigger. So this person's going through their changes, their ascension pains. And that's okay, because the universe definitely needs them. We had the Moon card next on this side. And this tells me that a lot of times they're getting that intuitive flow, which every time they feel that stuff, or their subconscious mind and their guides are letting them know messages, they're taking it and being dreamy. They have to work through each of these new ideas that are part of them, that they're finding out who they really are, and they work through each of the illusions onto the other side. And this is happening each time the moon cycles. So once every month they're coming through, or 2 these, giant breakthroughs. But they've got the sun, which is the guidance, the other half of that too. I mean, think about in the winter time when you don't get a lot of sunshine and your body doesn't feel good. So I think there may be some depression and stuff going on this side, because it's not as easy for them to get through that stuff, or maybe they're just not as far along in the game as the other one. And they are celebrating instead. I just feel like this person's ignoring the situation, and the universe is going to push them through this stuff anyways, because they need this to become a union. But here, their celebrations are temporary, and with each moon cycle, they have to work through something else. So when they're not being pushed to a point where they feel like it's too much, too fast, then they enjoy their success, that they enjoy the success that they realized that they had, received, and they celebrate a little too hard. But this is happening in a positive aspect, because it's forcing them to go through, or to get to work through more. Because what happens when you're celebrating too much is that it brings up the good memories too, which makes you think of the things that are hurting you. It's a vicious cycle, but it does have a happy ending. Okay, somewhere along this lines, when I was separating these cards and just splitting them into piles, have missed a card. And I'm a perfectionist, so I'm not going to just dip out. I'm going to do the job completely and fully and find what was lacking. And if that card would happen to not be in this deck, I'm going to use that as a sign, because I saw what the final card is down here. And I'm going to go with that. It just feels right. And look up here in these cards, and what I see is the 2 on this side here, and the 2 on this card here. And those 2s look like 11 and 11 to me. This reading was meant to go this way. Because the only card down here on the bottom, and technically there should be two, is the World. That is the future of this couple. And for that card to fall last, it's a beautiful union. It's us progressing as a species on this planet. It's everyone finding themselves and working out the dualities within them. And it's being pushed harder onto this first flame because they are card 0 of the new cycle. And us humans, what we have coming for us, we have special abilities above and beyond the normal human attributes. And this card is a very universal card for me. It is the evolution of our planet happening in 2021 as we move into number 0. Then we get 21 years of living in the one love. So even though flame 2 has already come around, I don't think flame 1 comes around until the very last minute and you guys get union. And it's in 2022. I hope that doesn't sound too confusing to you. 2 and 2. What I was calling 11-11 is in 2022. And you will spend that entire cycle together. Because the universe needs you to do that. So there you go. That was it. I thank you for watching. I always do this one reading with just that deck. But since we are lacking a card, okay, I'm pulling another, right? It just happens to be the 8 of Wands. The first time I've ever pulled one of these in the first reading I do on my twin flames on Saturdays. It just happens to be the 8 of Wands, which means it is done. All of your desires will be met. Just wait around and see how the universe brings them to you, each one by one. Everything's in motion. You don't have to do a thing. They're doing it for you. What a beautiful ending. I must have dropped that other card on the way up, but it's so weird. It's almost like it was meant to be. Right? Beautiful. Alright guys, like this video because you did. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. I really want to highlight my video on Fridays. I just got to do that because that's, to me, I spend the entire week getting guidance from Source, from the universe, from Gaia, from the environment around me, from nature. And I am basically being told what to tell you. I will link that video up below as well as the playlist that has all of my other twin flame information in it. Okay. Just stay grateful and stay thankful. Hang in there. The universe is going to do it for you. You don't really get a choice at this point. You were chosen for a reason. Alright. Stay bright because I like your vibes. It's em3dj3@gmail.com. If you're interested in a personalized reading, I would be honored. see you guys next time. And I'm going to do a couple readings later on too. So those will be the Celtic Cross now. Looking forward to it. Peace. Namaste. I'm out.